It's the big 250. Welcome everyone to Aussie Tech Heads episode 250. I'm Glenn and we've actually got a special studio audience tonight. Let's introduce him first because it's a special occasion. His name is Macca. Hello Macca.
Good evening Glenn. Good evening Will. Good evening Eric.
And
hello.
Yes, hello. And Macca joins us from the Central Coast somewhere.
Somewhere
down there.
I am the studio audience and we're here in capacity.
That's right. So anyway, yes. So welcome everyone. Episode 250. Finally made it to 250. Yeah, that's right. And this, what is it? The 5-year anniversary coming up pretty soon. So in another, 10 episodes.
10.
So there you go. So joining us tonight, as always, Will and Eric. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Evening, gents.
And what's been going on this week? Anyone got anything exciting to report?
Not really. The pool heating went in this week. Is that exciting?
No. Is that the tubes on the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does works pretty well, I believe.
Yeah, a couple of mates of mine had it done. I rang up the same people and tell you what, they must have not much work on because I rang him up and he was out here the next day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Sorry, Will?
Nobody thinks of their pool in winter. Everybody waits till summer and then wants everything done.
Yeah, well, it's probably
I'd get a discount because it was winter, but no.
No discount. But I knew someone that had that done. And they said that stuff just worked too much, and you had to turn it off half the time, especially in the summer and stuff.
Oh, we've got the stat on it, so we can set the temperature of the pool.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right. Oh, that works. That's good. All right, yeah. So, Will, anything exciting to report from Mars?
Not so much exciting. Disappointing. Still waiting for my Xbox. Not happy.
Did you ring him?
I haven't had time.
Yeah. Oh, well, give him a ring.
Will.
You'll be right. You'll be right. Will won an Xbox, for those of you who don't know, and he hasn't received it yet. It red ringed on the night that he won it, so he couldn't take it home.
Like chasing Microsoft. You all know how efficient they are.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right. Well, let's get cracking. I don't know if the studio audience is going to interject at any time. He might think of something to say as we go through the stories.
So far, Glenn, it's been very enlightening.
Right. That's good.
I'm impressed.
Oh, good.
I'm going to be super impressed in about 20 minutes.
Yes, well.
That's when Eric comes on.
Oh, fair enough. I'm here visiting from the Central Coast. The studio audience is visiting.
That's right.
And so the good part about that is we are going to go home.
Yes, that's the best part about visitors.
That is the best part.
Yeah, so I suppose, it's good that we can hook up. Look, I've even got him on the camera. For those of you who want to tune in live, you can Thursday nights around about 7:30, live.thesecrethub.com. And there's the studio audience. You can see the pictures of the studio audience. If you can't tune in live, we do upload the episodes to YouTube, youtube.com/The Secret Hub, and which means that you can also watch them on Boxy and through the big screen TV in your lounge room. You can get us everywhere. So we're on Thursday nights at 7:30, just after the replay of Tech Webcast. You can find those guys at techwebcast.info. And normally they have video, and sometimes they have audio. It's a surprise what you get. But have a look there.
You can.
Sorry, Will?
I was going to say, you can be in the studio audience provided there's only one of you.
That's right.
There's only one chair.
That's right.
And one camera. And one microphone.
Otherwise, no, I do have 4 microphones. The other 2 are lapels. But we can do everything. You can email us, Glenn, Will or Eric, at aussietechheads.com.au. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me, Aussie Tech Heads, Will at Mr. Tompkinson, and Eric at Eric Franco, ERIK.
And you can follow the studio audience home if you wish.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. There's problems with that. Okay, you can, if you want to call us live while we do the show, 7:30 Thursday nights, you can call us via Skype. Just Skype into Aussie Tech Head. In the show notes, you can follow through the show notes live or as you listen. Show notes online right now, aussietechheads.com.au. All right.
That's right. Forgot you did that.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that every week, All right, let's see what we can find tonight. Where do we want to start? I'm just trying to open up my... What is that? We're losing Eric.
Google Plus. Yeah.
Is
Google
Eric?
Plus.
That little noise is Google Plus noise. All right, so let's have a couple of stories. If if the Google Notebook decides to work, which has just crashed for me. No, here we go. Here we go. All right. Skype.
I'm back, guys.
Oh, what happened to you? What happened to you, Eric?
He went away.
He went away. So did his. Oh God. So did
Just call it
everything.
technology.
Hang on. Let's see if we can call Eric back. Are you back on the Skype, Eric?
And not unless you've called him back. He'll just be on the...
Oh, jeez. All right. How are we going now?
Well, that's better. It just dropped out. I knew it would.
All right. Flaky bloody Telstra internet down there you've got. When's the NBN? Oh, let's have an NBN story, Will. I know you've got a couple.
Yeah, not yet. Let's build up to that.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
going to build up?
The
No, we'll build up now. Go, Will.
We'll build up. Continue with your line with your train of thought there.
All right. Well, I was going to kick off with Skype and phone calls from Gmail. Finally been rolled out to Australia and more internationally. So Google enabled calling mobiles and landlines directly from your Gmail for users this week. So that's pretty handy, as well as dropping the rates on calls to more than 150 destinations. That's also handy. So now it looks like they're trying to really start competing with Skype. The rates are pretty low. Calls within Australia are charged at 2 cents a minute to landlines and 14 cents a minute to mobiles. So that is pretty competitive. So that is pretty competitive. What's going on there? Good. Okay. Now, calls to New Zealand, 2 cents and 20 cents per minute, landline mobiles, respectively. To the UK, 2 cents and 18 cents. And while calls to US and Canada landlines and mobiles are charged at 1 cent a minute and no flag fall. And so, yeah, as I said, these are pretty similar to the Skype rates when you go on as a...
So that's home to home fixed line numbers?
Yeah, 2 cents a minute to landlines. That's
So I'm assuming that only works if people have their phone numbers in the in your contacts.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, I suppose. No, a little dialing pad comes up.
Yeah, you can dial it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it looks like...
Now I need to find somebody who's got a fixed line.
Yes. Well, that's getting rarer and rarer. I dare say that the studio audience has got fixed lines. Is that correct?
The studio audience does have a fixed line. Glenn, do you have a phone handy at the moment? I might like to make a call at those prices.
Well, that would be good, but the internet's going to be too slow if you tried now.
Fair enough. Carry on.
So we'll move on. We're already maxing out. Okay, so that's interesting. So Microsoft taken over Skype, and all of a sudden Gmail and or Google seem to be a bit more interested in things, I think. And speaking of Skype, the Skype for the iPad was released this week. What would you call it? Returned.
That it was pulled.
Yeah, it was pulled, and then it was released again. So who knows why? But the app allows audio calls on the original iPad and video calls on the iPad 2, because it has two cameras. The iPad 2 users can conduct two-way video calls with iPad and users of the iPhone app, phones with Skype for Android or Skype from Windows, and other devices with front-facing cameras. Users can also switch from the front camera to the rear to show that their chat partner and their surroundings. So all these little cameras going around on both, you can pretend that you're having a chat to someone, but you're actually, perving on someone and streaming that. So there's a lot of secret squirrel stuff going to happen with all these sort of apps, I think. Yeah, the app enables instant messaging during video calls as well as voice calls, SMS messaging and other features familiar to Skype users. It's also free. The rollout on Tuesday was preceded with the accidental and brief rollout Monday night. A few people managed to lap it up before it was pulled, and the excuse or the response was that it just wasn't ready yet. So someone's pushed the wrong button, I'd say.
What? With the approval process that you have to go through with Apple, every time you make an update to your app, you still have to resubmit it. So there's no way they would have resubmitted an update unless they mean Apple pulled it because Apple hadn't finished reviewing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think from what I read, the issue was coming from Skype. They reckon Skype said they pulled it. So I don't know if you can actually do that. Can you?
It
Can
didn't
you?
have an ads in it.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, moving on. What else have we got? Anyone want to take the next story?
Well, I was just going to say,
Well,
Glenn,
Oh, hang on, studio. Yes, studio.
I was just going to say the studio hasn't seen or heard of so many cameras since since their last Formula One motor race with so many cameras.
All right. So you like the motor racing?
No, I like cameras, Glenn.
Oh, okay, right. You're you're very
You
photogenic.
got the moral, Glenn.
I'm a voyager. I like to watch.
Oh, right.
Yes.
There's another name for that, isn't there?
No, I haven't heard of that, Glenn. Next topic.
All right, Will. Let's move on to NBN. There was a press conference today. Stephen Conroy, Julia Gillard, all banging on about the NBN and how good it is. Which I watched it. Refreshing to see that he was passionate about it, which is good. Didn't mention if it was coming to the Gold Coast, but it is coming to a few other spots. And I think you might have an idea, Will, of where they are coming to.
Annoyingly enough, Google just signed me out automatically, and I've got to log back in. But it's gone to where I used to live at, Camira, but we would have got it because we're on the part of the exchange and rollout path.
So how spewing are you?
Of Springfield, yeah, the house we used to live in.
Yeah.
So that was annoying. But it's also the other place I find hilarious that they keep saying it's going to go to is Goodna. Now, I got no problems with that, and I understand why they're doing it actually, because the exchange at Goodna still actually isn't up and running since the floods. It got fully submerged, and that's basically been a full rebuild job. So they've gone fully digital, optic fibre. They've completely redone the exchange. So I understand why they're doing that. The problem is...
So we'll let you come back to that if you want to get your notes up, because I think you got a bit more. Okay, yeah. So there was other areas in Brisbane or in Queensland, I think, that were scheduled, like later this year.
Yeah, well, as I said, Goodna and Springfield were rolled out for November. I don't know how they're going to do that with Goodna because it's still up anyway. But then you've got Aspley is December, Toowoomba is October, Townsville for September. That's up here. New South Wales, you've got Armidale, Coffs Harbour,
All the
Jamborough.
places where they can't afford to pay for it.
Yeah,
Riverstone.
that's probably about right too. Because I did read a
It's
story.
interesting because, I was about to say there's the other story here about the broadband network has 41 customers in one of its test sites.
Oh, can I buy
over
some shares in that business?
Yes.
Please.
With
Where do I
over
sign?
6,000 homes having been connected to the grid and able to, in this particular area, over 6,000 homes are able to be connected to the NBN. So far, 41 customers have actually taken it up. Partly because I'm reckon I can't find where it is. It says it's in Tasmania, but it doesn't say.
But I think like 41 customers.
I can't find where it is.
Like, I can't believe that is actually right, but because I think it's as it says, it was there 41 customers in a test site, but the other places that have gone live, like who wouldn't be hankering for this thing? Like surely there's more than 41. Surely there's more people out there that.
Depends who you're selling it to. You're not going to sell ice to Eskimos, right? And you can't sell an expensive product to people with no money.
Yeah, true.
I mean, in Armidale, they've had 31 active connections out of a possible 4,200.
Way under 1%. Well done.
But I mean,
guys, there's more than 41 people listen to this show. I mean, for goodness sake, you have a live audience.
well, that's right. So I'm sure that everyone that listens to the show wants the NBN. But it's just a matter of point that, look, it is getting rolled out into... The reason why it's getting rolled out into the, shall we say...
non-blue ribbon seats.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but I mean, like, but maybe to the areas that are more working class than other areas, if I can say that without offending anyone.
Okay, non-blue ribbon seats.
Yeah, but
I mean, is a poorer suburb, but as I said, they're doing it because they've got to do a massive infrastructure rejigger anyway. But Springfield Lakes is actually quite a wealthy suburb. So,
but it's not just that they're all. As far as I'm aware, they want to push it out to these areas because these areas that they're initially rolling it out to are areas that don't have decent broadband at the moment. They're
exactly.
areas that don't have, that can't get ADSL, and as Conroy was explaining today, it's areas that that have got rims in every street or however they work, and areas that are on pair gains and stuff like this that just can't physically get ADSL to, and some areas can't even get ADSL. They're getting dial-up or shonky wireless, shonky 3G. So that's why they're going out to all these areas first.
Springfield Lakes, given that it's a huge area, really doesn't. Up until 12 months ago, you couldn't even get much. You could get ADSL, but it wasn't really any quicker than dial-up. But they did plan ahead because they did a optic rollout when they laid everything, but they just don't have anything connected to. So.
Yeah, so look, it'll get round, and I'm sure, like, if you did live in areas like Goodna and Armidale and everything, and then had PUS internet, well, of course, you'd be saying, well, why not me first? Of course, like, it is fair. It just needs to hurry up. It needs more teams.
All right, here you go. Here's one for you. I'm just officially annoyed. I've just downloaded a list of New South Wales and Canberra cities and towns that's going to get optical fibre. It's the complete list. I've downloaded from their website. Okay, and I'm assuming that these are exchange points.
Right.
Because there's quite a few of them, quite a few cities there. And look, I don't know if they when they say Sydney, they mean Sydney Metropolitan.
Yep.
CBD.
But or if they mean CBD, that's right. But Richmond Windsor is classified Sydney Metropolitan, but it's got listed on its own. And where I live, which starts with a P, is not on there whatsoever. So what does that mean?
It means it's a fair way down the alphabet.
Well, it's listed all the P's.
And you're not there.
Not there.
But that's probably would that be because have these other areas, say, got the Telstra cable rolled out to them? Or are they saying that...
Oh, but that doesn't matter. They're replacing all those pits.
Yeah.
So they're going to run it in the same pit. So that's why they bought them in the first. They leased the pits off them in the first place, so they wouldn't have to dig new pits.
So have they got time frames on that website as well?
No, this one is just a lot of country towns here, which I've got no problem with. Wollongong, Yamba, Tweed Heads. That's fine, all good. Shoalhaven Heads, Silverwater, right? That's near Parramatta.
Yeah, I know, and also
on there.
And it is like from coming from an economic point of view, it's strange coming from that point of view because, like you got people in the big cities that probably can and want and have the ability to produce stuff that will utilise this speed. Otherwise, sure enough, you got your little newspapers in these country towns, and you might have a little Photoshop and all this sort of stuff. But I think it's not until you get to the big cities where you've got the doctors, you've got the hospitals, you've got people like us, wanting to stream these things.
I'm going to assume that when they say Sydney, they're going to say they assume Sydney Metropolitan because even their own suburb, where they get the most votes, Blacktown, is not listed here.
Yeah, right.
So I'm assuming it means Sydney means Sydney Metropolitan.
It's been blackballed. Blacktown's been blackballed.
Finally.
All right. Let's move on unless anyone's got anything to add to the NBN saga.
I'll download a list of your... if you want me to download a list of your cities, I can, mate.
Yes, please. I'd like to see that. Will, did you have something to finish off?
Did you cover the story last week? Because I haven't had time to listen to last week's show. Did you cover the story about the truckie that got arrested for hacking the NBN?
Yes.
One of my favourite quotes in that was, "We arrested this man because we feel he had the potential to disrupt hundreds of thousands of customers' daily lives."
41 customers.
In the sentence before that, they just finished saying that he was only attacking one of the ISPs that was for the National Broadband Network. And then the following sentence, hundreds of thousands of people will be affected. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, it's a big beat up.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
I
Glenn, it's got here Gold Coast. That's all it's got.
oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
So I'm assuming that covers you.
Well, you'd think so. Well, Gold Coast is a big area. It's probably area.
Well, so, like Sydney Metropolitan, it covers a big area.
Yeah, there's that.
And they just got here Brisbane. I think they're covering. These must be their main interconnect points, and then they farm out from there. That's what I'm
Right.
assuming.
So no time
Well,
frames
see-
there though.
No.
it's weird the way they do it because they don't mention, they say Brisbane, but they don't say it's Ipswich, but they say
That's
Goodna
right.
and Springfield, which are part of Ipswich. So
Yeah,
Maybe
it's just bizarre. It really is bizarre. I
Maybe
don't
they-
know what they're doing. And the worst thing is, it doesn't tell us, like Glenn's been asking, the timeline. Because let's face it, they're not going to commit to a timeline because we all know they're not going to meet the timeline.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting as well that is there any plans for anything in Western Australia? Like nothing,
Yes, there is.
no, well, nothing's
and
been
I'll-
rolled out there yet, has there?
No, because it's a liberal state.
Yeah, you reckon that's right? Why?
Yeah. Shit.
part of the issue with that is just same as Northern Territory, and to some extent South Australia. It's just the huge amount of distance they have to cover to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
but anyway,
trying to run up cables and stuff.
But anyway, let's move on. Everyone's probably sick of NBN by now. The studio
Oh,
audience.
no, I'm not
he's
sick of
gone
the
to sleep.
NBN. I'm sick of the idiots who are getting in front of the camera and spruiking it like bloody.
Yeah. Audience has gone.
Yeah,
to sleep.
her, that one. A lipstick on a pig is still a pig.
Yeah, that's right. That old chestnut. All right, let's move on. One more story, and then we'll do something. We'll do something fun. So more than 5.5 million Australians will own a tablet computer, such as an iPad, within 4 years. 5.5 million. So creating a massive shift. Pardon?
You didn't do the best part of that.
Well, I'm
the way
finished.
they've got it written, the actual way they write it, as if it's. Oh, where's the story? I was just looking at it.
So
They say,
PricewaterhouseCoopers said that by 2015, 1 in 4 Australian homes will have a tablet device, and users will pay for a wide variety of content.
Well, okay, let's do a little quick survey. I've got one in this house. You've got one, Glenn,
Yes.
and Will's got one. That's
And the
3 out of
studio
3.
and the studio audience don't know what it is.
An iPad.
It's a tablet that you need a chisel and a hammer to.
I have tablets that I can cut with a knife.
And he
Alright.
puts them in
Let's
little
pop the
plastic
orders.
containers. So anyway, with a range of devices entering the market and standing to try to tackle Apple's dominance, there are more than 750,000 iPads in Australia before the launch of iPad 2. The report predicts competitors will have to make the most of partnerships to gain market share. Competitors will need to match Apple's ecosystem. And that's, for me, is what it's all about. It's the ecosystem. As it is the iTunes, it is the App Store, it is Apple's ecosystem. That's what it's all about. And I don't know why these other people don't spend more money, like say your Google and your whatever. Why don't they? I know
Because
Google's just updated their Android thing, but why?
Apple will suit them.
What? But they can still improve
No,
their
you
App
know what
Store
it is.
and
It's,
everything.
it's not the Apples or the Googles that are doing the development. It's the external third-party developers realise that am I going to, if you had a choice, am I going to spend 4 weeks and $10,000 developing an application for this platform or that platform? What ecosystem have I got the best chance of making a living on?
Yes.
And it's not Android.
But it's becoming so though. Like Android
It
is.
will be, but it's so buggy. I had a Nexus S, and you go to download something, and the phone crashes, and people are saying, you know what, it's just too hard. I'm just going to get an iPhone.
But do you think that Google might be suffering the same fate or the same problems that Microsoft faces? Is that like Apple software is made for one piece of hardware, but then
That's right. They control every aspect of their hardware and their software, and that's what makes it such a good quality product. Google is the Microsoft in mobile devices. It's too fragmented. There's too disparate people have developed for different screen sizes and different resolutions and different processor speeds and types and whatnot. It's not easy. You know, if I was a developer, I'd be thinking, that's too hard. Sorry, I'm just going to go to one platform, one device, one screen size, one resolution. Bang, let's go.
So maybe like Google should have, like a tick of approval, a list of hardware that they can use.
They should have they should get to their supplier or their partner and say, look, guys, you've got to develop this sort of thing. You know, these are the parameters. Go and make a screen that's this size. The resolution is this. The processor is this. The internals are this. Get it, buy it. You know, everyone should get together and Samsung, HTC, Motorola, and say, right, we're going to buy. All of us are going to group together and go to one supplier like Apple does and go, right, let's go buy a squillion of these parts.
Yeah.
So we get them a lot cheaper. You know, they should band together as a group buying exercise to make it happen. But they don't.
They probably are kind of heading that way because the latest reports about smartphones is basically showing Nokia is effectively dead. And when you look at the statistics, you've got Apple and you've got, which way was it? You got Apple, BlackBerry, Windows, Nokia, and then other. And that other category, which was like 67%, was Windows Mobile and all the Android devices. So, actually, no, sorry, Windows Mobile is like 1% at the other end. So you basically got Apple, which had like 30%, Android, which was like 67%, and so the other 3% was everybody else.
Yep.
Symbian OS and Web OS and things like that. So when you look at it like that, Android really does have a stranglehold. But as you say, the biggest problem is the fragmentation, and everybody wants their own flavour of Android. They want to put their Sense UI, they want to put their own things on what.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And that's the problem that Microsoft faces, and that's the problem that Android faces, and Apple doesn't face. So that's the difference at the moment. But anyway, let's have a listen to Eric because he's got something about Google. I think is that right, Eric? You got some sort of. Oh no, Eric's lost. Is Will still there? Will's lost. Everyone's lost.
The studio audience is still here, Glenn.
I think everyone's lost. Hang on. We're going to have to pause here for a second. And I'm going to save. I don't know what happened then. I think my internet might have went down. We have restored this. Please exit and rejoin the meeting. Okay. Yeah, I think my internet went down.
Was that you?
I think so.
It wasn't me.
Hello?
Will, was that me?
Yes? You went away because me and Eric were still here.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
It's gone. Oh, that's Google. Has just gone.
Yeah,
all.
my Skype went, but my video was a bit scratchy. But
The video on Google Plus stayed, but yeah, Skype went away. But it's back.
It's
It didn't
Skype.
actually disconnect.
It's just Skype. It's just rubbish. If Google stayed on there, if it was the internet, Glenn, Google would have gone away as well.
So
Yeah.
did Google go away?
Go away.
No,
Go away.
no,
Go away.
no.
No, just Skype.
Just Skype.
So you could hear me all through that.
No,
No, when
you went
dropped
away
out,
completely.
the video stayed on, but the audio went.
Oh, so you could see me.
Even the video went away too. It just froze.
Yeah, your video, but I was on and Will was still on.
Oh, we've got
Yeah.
we've got word from the lounge maker. No more beers for you.
Fair enough, Glenn. I was just going to say, though...
Hang on, we're paused. We're not on the show.
Oh,
If you want to comment on the show, I'll tell you when. Otherwise, you can just comment to the lounge.
okay.
The lounge is
Gee, you run a bloody tight ship in there.
What are you talking about?
I haven't seen an
Yeah.
applause sign
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Why don't you put the
Never
sign
needed
up when he's allowed to clap and an applause?
I was afraid he'd bring that.
I've seen the wank sign.
I was afraid he'd bring that.
Oh, don't say that. I didn't think you'd hear that.
I was afraid he'd bring that.
Oh, so it's going to
don't
keep
say that. I didn't
going.
think you'd hear that.
This echo's a good thing, isn't it?
Oh, bloody thing.
Oh,
Oh, well, there you go.
I've got friends or a friend listening to his professional show here.
Oh, yeah. Just jokes, studio audience, just jokes. Oh, look, I can
course.
see your reflection in the screen up there. I should just look at that when I want to look at you.
Wonderful. Oh, there you go. Yes.
See, he's taken my long lead for my headphones, and I can't turn around to face him.
He doesn't want to face me. He doesn't want to see what I'm doing.
I'm scared.
you own one lead. You stingy bugger.
Well, you know, that's one thing I didn't think about when I booked him.
Or I should say, as we're doing as a whole, we are the studio audience,
That's right.
plural.
He let the dog out.
I did. I don't know whether
There goes half your fan base.
the dog couldn't stand me or I couldn't stand the dog.
So we lost Eric again. Looks like.
No, I'm still here.
Well, why is my little thing showing that I'm ringing you?
Because you're an idiot.
Oh, well, I'm just going to let it ring then. All right. So, how's this? Yep, the lounge is still good. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I'm fine, yep.
So let's just move straight into an Audible ad. Eric, is that all right?
Yes, mate, that's all right.
All right.
Quite all right.
Can anyone, we're not ready yet. We're not going yet.
No,
I'll
no,
tell you
all
when.
right, all right, all right.
Yeah, so what are you going to say? Or is that part of the thing?
No. You just, you just want. Are you going to do a? Oh, you just edit it in.
What's that?
Is that
The whole.
Noise.
Yeah, can
Because we dropped out. We dropped out. Remember?
Yeah. So what do you want me to do? Yeah, so I'll say, welcome back, and now we'll move into...
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me just get my
But we-
note up on the.
We've got that little noise, though.
Oh, that'd be me,
Still.
Glenn.
That's
Hang on,
all right.
mate.
You,
Hang on.
We're,
Yeah.
we're
Hang
not
on one
recording
sec.
yet, so you can take that.
All right.
It's definitely Eric's, isn't it? As soon as he unplugs that mixer,
I'm going to get a new mixer. Don't worry about it.
no, it's still there. When you unplugged
Is
it,
it?
it went away. As soon as you plugged it back in, it come back.
1 second.
I'm wondering if there might be a cable.
That's gone now.
Maybe the cable. Oh,
Do-do-do.
Is that Eric doing the washing up? Sounds like it.
He's doing something over there.
Don't be dirty.
nipple rubbing the microphone.
Nothing dirty about washing up, Eric.
No.
Depends where the plates have been.
Let's just.
Let's just leave it at that, shall we?
All right.
Let me sign. Oops. Wrong one.
Very breaking in audio. But, yeah,
What's
that?
beg your
Yeah.
pardon?
Oh, no, Milo
The
just
stream.
said breaking in audio, but that's probably just the stream.
The stream's dicky tonight. I don't know if it's because you're. What's your CPU at?
85.
Yeah. It's probably just occasionally something will peg it to like 95% for a second, and that's just giving it that break.
Oh, yeah. All right, tell me when. Is everyone ready?
I will be in 1 second.
Studio audience is ready.
Oh,
Rep.
Ah.
Yep.
What happened then?
Will's out.
When Googled out costs. Whoa.
Although I'll have to hurry it up, Glenn. I've got to do
Who
the
the fuck you
vacuuming.
thinking?
Oh, there I am. So I'm back. So Google.
No, Eric's gone.
Eric's gone now. Have we still got audio for Eric?
Audio, but no video. Oh, you son of a prick.
Son of a-
Listen, the audience member won't come back if you keep
Studio
talking
audience
to him
didn't
like
quite
that.
hear that.
He won't come back if he keeps getting
Son of a who, did you say?
I've never heard that expression before.
You have now.
Well, funny thing is, we're all sons of those.
Yes.
Yeah. In a strange way, it's sort of very fitting. Clinton Halliday. What?
There's Clinster. Hey, Clinster. Probably can't. We can't hear
No,
you,
we
mate.
won't be able to hear it because
We're
we're
doing
not
it on
using
Skype.
the audio. Yeah, we're not using the audio from the stream.
There's Clinster.
No, it's going to be horrible audio doing it that way anyway. Yeah.
Okay. I fixed
Yeah.
you, Clinster. Sorry. I had to mute you. Because we're doing the audio on the Skype. If you got something to, if you want to come in and got something to say, Skype in on the Aussie Tech Head Skype. But otherwise, just
You can leave your video up on.
You can
Leave
just
your video up on Google Plus if you want.
yeah. That's not interfering with my CPU, so that's all right. All right.
Are you just doing the one screen cap and just clicking between sources on Google Plus?
No, I'm using different caps.
Oh, okay.
Why?
No, I was just wondering. Just wondering how you're doing it.
Very technical down here.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes. Now, why haven't we... Hang on, I have to recapture. Eric. Oh, echo.
Echo. Somebody's got their
How's that?
Hello. Better.
test. Yep. No, I'm still getting feedback. From me.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
No, it's only when I speak I get it back. Is that your mixer again? Remember,
How's that?
Was that occasional?
How's that?
Occasional? Whoa. Right now I'm getting it from everyone.
Maybe, hang on. I'll just go on through.
That wasn't it.
Oh, that's it. Might have had something to do with Clinster. It's gone away.
He must have been feeding back. No, because he doesn't have headphones. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's got headphones. Has he?
Don't know.
That's possibly why. It's feeding back through Skype. No, still echo. What the hell?
Hang on, just let me go through these, and just let me mute everyone, because something's happened and everyone's come unmuted on my thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had my.
Why can't remote mute? I want to mute audio. Mute. You have muted Will. Good. Mute Eric. Good. Mute me. Good. Hello. How's that?
There you go. It was yours. It was your own.
But I was trying to do it.
You're very light on,
Yeah,
Glenn.
I've muted myself anyway.
I tried muting myself once. It didn't work.
What? Mute or mute?
Stop muting.
I'll leave it up to you.
All right. Are we ready to go?
I suppose so.
Eric?
What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm
Living
here.
dangerously.
Okay. Are we ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. And welcome back. Yes, we had a few little gremlins in the Google Plus, the Skype, or wherever it was. Who knows? The internet. We'll blame the internet. We always do. And sooner we get the NBN, the better. All right. Now, Audible. We all love and we all know Audible. And if you haven't heard of them, well, we're going to tell you about them. Audio books. That's what they are. You can download a free audio book and listen on your iPad or whatever MP3 player you might have, your tablet. Be one of those 5.5 million people and listen on a tablet. And all you have to do is to get a free one, go to the aussietechheads.com.au webpage and click on the Audible banner and sign up from that. So that's click on the banner and sign up. You get a free trial for 14 days, in which time you can get a free book. And Eric is going to tell us about Eric's choice of the week.
My choice of the week. Thank you very much, Glenn. Funny enough, tonight we are streaming using Google Plus or the Hangout feature, the video section, and we're getting the audio via Skype. And my pick of the week is called In the Plex How Google Thinks, Works, and Shapes Our Lives. I mentioned this briefly last week. It's written by Stephen Levy, and I'll read a little bit, an editor's review about it, then I'll play a grab.
Okay.
Don't be equal. That's Google's official motto. But what's really going on behind its simple little search box? Wired's Stephen Levy guides us through a history of the rise of the internet, the development of complicated search algorithms, and in many ways, a who's who of Silicon Valley. All beautifully narrated by L.J. Ganser. So here we go. I want to play a little grab.
Here's LJ.
The mistrust and fear in the courtroom were reflected globally by governments upset by Google's privacy policies and businesses worried that Google's disruptive practices would target them next. Everywhere Google's executives turned, they were faced with protests and lawsuits. The course of events was baffling to Google's two founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Of all Google's projects, the one at issue in the hearing, Google's book search project, was perhaps the most idealistic. It was an audacious attempt to digitize every book ever printed so that anyone in the world could locate the information within. Google would not give away the full contents of the books, so when users discovered them, they would have reason to buy them. Authors would have new markets. Readers would have instant access to knowledge. After being sued by publishers and authors, Google made a deal with them that would make it even easier to access the books and to buy them on the spot. Every library would get a free terminal to connect to the entire corpus of the world's books. To Google, it was a boon to civilization.
There you go. That's just a little grab that I chose because the initial grab went for 5 minutes. And I thought, I'm not going to play that. But that was the most interesting grab of that 5 minutes. So I snipped a minute and 15 off that. And I'm going to get this. And I downloaded the one last week that I spoke about, the Steve Jobs one, Return to the Little Kingdom.
Oh, yes.
About 3 hours that one.
Right. So tell me, Eric, when you subscribe, is your month a calendar month? Or
It's a month from when you sign up.
Right. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So there's no pro-ratering and all that sort of rubbish.
So if you found that little excerpt titillating, you can get it for free. Go to aussietechheads.com.au, sign up to Audible, get a free copy of that book in your first 14 days. Way to go. And continue on with your subscription because you can get more great books from those guys. That's more than 80,000 audiobooks. 80,000. Oh, makes me feel like a Wild Oats bit of wine. All right. Okay. Look out, Lawsy. Look out.
Eric, can I, the studio audience, just throw to you, Eric.
Yes.
The studio audience in a whole listen to audiobooks, and I don't quite understand. I know that there's different categories. The studio audience particularly likes murder mysteries and things like that, westerns, what have you like that. Audio books go for anything from 6 CDs to 14 CDs, hours on end, however thick the book is, and find them very, very interesting. Is that virtually what you're talking about here?
That's what they are, but they're just downloads rather than getting a stack of CDs or DVDs or whatever. You just download them and you can listen to them on your computer, on your phone. You know, if you've got a smartphone, an Android or an iPhone or a can I do a Nokia or not? I'm not sure. So iPads.
Well, very old school, Eric. I just get the CDs and listen to them in the player.
Don't forget too that you can do that with Audible. You download the audio book, and then you can you can just burn it onto the CD that you want to listen to as well.
Right, put it on a blank CD and
I think the studio audience needs a copy of iTunes and an iPod. I think that'd see you right.
Yes. Well, actually, I just get them from the library, Glenn.
Yeah, actually,
there's a good one in here that you'd like, Macca, if you like this sort of The Secrets of the FBI.
Well, anything of interest, yeah, for sure.
But see, the good thing about getting them from Audible, they're digital. You get to keep them, and you can put them on a digital device. So you could fit on an iPod, which is, say, how big is that? Probably, 20 centimetres?
120 gigs for a standard iPod, just say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so for something, yay big, iPod,
You get 100 books on there.
600
Yep.
books,
Yep,
and you
yep.
can listen
Yeah.
to it whatever you want. You can
And the good
you can get,
thing, Macca, is if you lose your iPod, you haven't lost your books because you just log into your Audible site and they're all there and you download them all over again.
Yeah. It is
See,
very,
I
very handy.
actually love going to the public library because you get books on tape and books on CD and things like that. The only problem is they only last, 2 weeks? And if
And
you
you
haven't
gotta
listened to
renew.
them, you can take them back, check them back out, and pick up where you started again.
Well,
Whereas
that is-
at least with Audible, you haven't got to do that.
Yeah, well, that is true, Will. That is true. But I listen to them while I work in the job that I do.
Mm.
But let's not forget, too, the ability to read. I do get out books and read as well. People do have to
No,
read.
so don't worry.
yeah.
It'll never work.
Reading's overrated these days.
It's better. Always better to have someone read to you, though. Always better. Always
very
better.
good, very
Look,
good.
I'll show you
When
what
they're-
it's all
when they're
about.
fanning you and feeding you grapes, they can read to you also.
Very nice.
That's right. All right, let's continue. Oh, and guess what, everyone? I've come up with what we're trying to do is restructure the show somewhat. We are going to say next week. I'm going to launch a new segment this week. So we want some questions and so forth from you guys out there. It's called Ask the Head, and you ask the head any question. Okay. And I'm gonna have a graphic to follow, but not tonight, but soon. But ask the head, all right? You can just
Ask
imagine
the
what
head.
that'll be.
Coming to a screen near you
Exactly.
in a world.
Whose head?
I'll be the head,
Oh, goodness me.
and you can ask
What are you going
me.
to zoom in?
You can ask me a tech question,
I think we'll have to double the audience, fellas.
and we are going to pick the best tech question of the week, and the head will answer it. Okay, so send your questions to askhead@aussietechheads.com.au, and the head
I know a bloke called Richard Head.
that might be a more appropriate title for the segment. No. But that's one of the new ones. Ask head. So ask the head anything related to tech that you want, and
Did
we'll
he
try
have a
and answer.
sister, Ophelia?
Oh, he
Yeah.
could actually.
He did. I've got a question.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if we take him without notice, but yeah, go on. We'll try we'll go.
So, Your Honour, question without notice to the floor.
Yes.
Can you change the name?
No.
The
This is not after
studio
all the
audience
effort of
is
making it
finally happy.
No, there's no name change. It's ask the head. Because it's Aussie Tech Heads, so you got to ask.
All right.
Ask-
Ask the head. Okay, ATH.
That's right.
Ask
Ask
the
the head. There, good work. That's it. That's it. All right.
You
Moving
meant
on.
that, didn't you, Glenn?
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Good one, Eric. I knew
Well
we'd think of that. Very acronymous of you. All right, where are we going to go now? Let's go to the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini. Is this another advance for Apple? Is Apple leading the tech world again with the new Mac Mini with no optical drive? Now remember back in
say they're giving it a shot, Glennie.
I would say so. Remember back in
1998. 1999, 2000. They got rid of the floppy.
They got rid of the floppy. That's exactly right. And I think that was everyone was screaming and crying and and vomiting in the streets. But
That's right. And prior to that, they were the first ones to put a USBs in their computers because there's you remember those candy coloured iMacs?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Well, their mouse attached to them via USB.
Yes.
In
And they also
1998.
had, well before that, they had USB a generation before that as well. But the first iMacs is where they implemented FireWire,
Yes.
another one of their designs.
Yeah.
But see, don't forget that they have a habit of doing that. But there's also options as well. Like you can get a USB. For years, you could have a USB floppy drive, and I'm sure the same. I've actually got one sitting in the cupboard, and I'm sure it'll be the same thing with, an optic drive. If you do actually need an optical drive, you just use the USB one.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Or
That's right.
whatever
That's what
thing
they're
is,
selling.
look,
And they sell them to you for $99 and it costs them 10. So
Yeah.
they're not stupid.
like the last 3 computers I built for myself, which are in use around this house, like as in media centers and so forth, do not have an optical drive. I've left it out because even installing Windows, I've installed it off a USB key.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I've got them here. I've got one Windows 7, 64, and 32, and that installs faster off these as well.
It is, CD installation or DVD installation are dog slow compared to a flash drive.
Yeah, and also I've noticed that if you've got the optical drive in there, sometimes the computer just decides to go and interrogate the optical drive and hold everything up while it just decides to go away and do nothing.
Goes on a little Microsoft holiday.
That's right. A little Microsoft holiday. I like that one. That's good.
That's the thing. Like whether I've got one thumb drive, 16 gig thumb drive. I've got Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 7 64, and Ubuntu all on the same drive. Just boots up the menu, and I just choose which one I want to put in.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the only reason I've got one system that has a burner in it, obviously, if you need to burn photos or a movie, or you go into your in-laws and you want something to watch on their TV.
Yeah.
Take your USB so you can throw it out.
Yeah, we can always watch the USB installation of Ubuntu. Put that in and see how it goes. A lot of squiggly lines.
It's nearly as quick to do a USB install of Ubuntu as it is to load Windows 7. Like, turn on the computer and wait for Windows 7 to load.
Yeah, okay.
And I've got Ubuntu installed in about the same time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nice. All right.
Yeah, Windows must be slow.
Yeah. Eric, did you have any stories, or anyone else have a story they want to bring up? Eric, yeah.
Apple iCloud is out. The pricing details have been revealed in America. I know what the pricing details are in Australia, but I can't reveal those because I've got a developer's license. And cut a long story short, they've got $80 billion and I don't, and they'd have my lunch. So I'm not saying anything about prices.
Just on a side note, did you hear there was a story yesterday or today that Apple has more cash than the US government has in working cash?
Correct. Working cash. But I also heard after that apparently they've got 500 billion in gold.
Who? Apple?
No, not Apple.
No.
Yeah, Stevie Jobs sleeps on a bed of gold. No, the US Treasury, but it's not liquid.
Right.
So in actual cash, that's liquid. You can't pay some help work. Hey Doc, here's a bar of gold. Go and buy yourself a car.
Well, no, you'd have to.
So liquid assets, they've got less than Apple.
Yes. So that's quite astounding, isn't it? Like it's I think Apple's got 76 billion. And the US has 72 billion. Something like that.
Well, it'll be less than that now. And the scary part is the Australian government is in debt by 60 billion. So they could buy our debt.
Yes, yeah.
That's
amazing. Yeah, so anyway, sorry, where were we going with the story?
So
well,
with the
it's
pricing,
slightly more, Glenn, than what the studio audience has combined.
Slightly more than you and the...
studio audience combined, yes.
Yeah, probably all 5 of us.
Not much more.
No, not much more. Not by the end of our reign. Yeah, so sorry, Eric, where were you going?
Right, the iCloud pricing.
Yes.
Is now these things will sync your documents, whatever files you want to throw in there, and it does whatever you buy from iTunes, any books or music or movies or TV shows that you buy from iTunes doesn't count towards your storage quota.
Right.
So you can have all your movies on the cloud. You can log into someone's house and start basically, playing your songs or whatever.
Yep, nice.
And it doesn't count towards your quota. You get 5 gig of free iCloud storage when you sign up, and it's free to sign up. When it finally comes out, you'll get a .me address.
Yep.
That's going to happen, I think, next month, the middle of next month. And if you want to pay, you get an extra 10 gigs will cost you $20 a year.
That's not bad. That's nearly...
So
that's
15 gigs, $20 a year you'll get. That's pretty good, $20 a year for 15 gigs.
That's pretty much in line with Google Cloud.
Well, I don't know what Google's prices are, but it's a lot cheaper than Dropbox.
Yeah, no, Google Cloud's about that because I bought some extra space for photos.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's about that, like $20 a year. Yeah, he can handle that. I can
Yeah.
handle that.
So iTunes Media or books do not count towards the free quota.
Yeah, that's pretty handy. Because that's also would provide a lot of people with a big incentive to buy. Once again, an incentive to buy Apple products from the App Store or wherever.
That's right. That's right. So it's good.
Apple.
It's not bad. I've already purchased my 10 gigs.
Yes.
Already?
Yep.
And, it's all right. It's not fully operational yet because a lot of the apps on the Mac, there's some, for example, Microsoft Office on the Mac. They've got to make an update so that the API, when you say save to, there'll be an option to save to iCloud. They haven't got that yet.
Oh, okay, right.
But that'll all come. The developers will start rolling that out once iCloud gets released. But it's working, it's running. I can back up my phone data to there, which is good.
Nice.
So it's working. And I'm not going to tell you how much because I'm not allowed to.
And when is that being released?
Probably September or October, I would imagine.
Right. And it'll work all around the world?
I think the iCloud will work all around the world, but they'll be rolling out. I think the music will work initially everywhere, and then they'll roll out slowly the TV and the movies, and I think the books will work straight away as well.
Right. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah.
So that's a TV and the movies. It's a licensing thing. Every country's got different licensing laws that they've got to adhere to. So US, obviously, first up, everything will work. Yep. Straight up. So that's good.
All right. Good stuff. And Will, did you have anything you want to bring up tonight? Oh.
Yeah, there's excuse me, quite a few interesting stories out in the world. One is that despite Apple's best efforts, Samsung is still bringing their Galaxy Tab not Galaxy Tab, what is it, Galaxy Tab, whatever it is, to Australia because the injunction wasn't on the one that they were going to release anyway.
That's right. They've made a little slight modification, and they're going to release that one.
No, that's what everyone thought it actually was. But what it actually was the one that they had the injunction about was the one that ran on their Sprint network or whatever it is over their CDMA network. It wasn't the 3G one. They went, yeah, no worries. We won't release that one over there.
And why pick on Australia anyway? Like, we're only a pretty small market. Like, we've obviously got only less than 5.5.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Easy target.
We don't have the amount of people to... you couldn't possibly have two tabs competing for the same customer.
Those 800 tablets that they would have sold in the first 12 months are going to have to wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, great.
I found this story quite interesting. Richard Handel, Handl, Richard Handel,
is that
overnight
Dick Handel,
said
is it?
He said that he had the radioactive elements,
Could be.
radium, what is it? Americium and uranium.
Yeah.
In his apartment in southern Sweden when police showed up and arrested him for charges of unauthorized possession of nuclear material. The 31-year-old said that he tried for months to set up a nuclear reactor at home, but kept a blog about his experiments describing how he created a small meltdown on his stove. Only later did he realise that it might not be illegal and sent a question to the Swedish Radiation Authority, who answered by sending the police.
Yeah,
I've always been interested in physics and chemistry.
Just a nut job.
I don't know. I don't know what he was, but he was.
I think he was related to Richard and Ophelia Head.
He could have.
I think if he wasn't, he is now.
I think his dad's name was actually Mr. Cranium.
Yeah,
So-
That's right.
He said he's always been interested in physics and chemistry, and he just wanted to see if it was possible to split atoms at home. But now, although he says police didn't detect dangerous levels of radiation in his apartment, he now acknowledges his project wasn't such a good idea, and he says, from now on, I'll just stick to theory.
That's the smartest movies ever made.
Yeah. So having a meltdown on your stove, it's never any good.
I had a meltdown on the stove once. All the cheese went everywhere.
Oh, what were you cooking?
Eggs at the time.
And cheese.
No, just eggs.
So where'd the cheese come from?
I don't know. That was the meltdown.
That was the hard crusted cheese that you didn't scrape off from the night before.
I remember
Fair
when
enough.
I remember when my grandma first got one of those electric kettles that you put on the docking station, the plastic ones.
Yeah, yeah.
She decided she was going to make coffee one morning for everybody, and about 10 minutes later, we smelt something feral, and we went out to the kitchen. Here's a plastic kettle melted all over the gas burner.
Oh. No way. But anyway, let's go on to another story. I've got another one here. I did have one, but it's disappeared. Have you got another one, Will? Oh, here we go. Yeah, you go, Will.
All right, I was going to say that these sort of two stories are semi-related. So the Norwegian stores take World of Warcraft and Call of Duty Modern Warfare off the shelves after the thingy over there last week, the massacre. Coop Norge, one of the country's major grocery store chains, said it took the decision out of respect for the families. The move was launched on 24th of July to spare people who, in one way or another, were affected by the terrorist act. We don't want them to stumble upon violent video games whilst buying milk and bread.
What?
Now, I'm sorry, but why do you have violent video games next to your milk and bread?
I think the answer, Will, is just to stop selling police uniforms in Kmart.
Well, you
Yeah,
could
well,
do
there's that.
You could try that to start with.
But to go hand in hand with that, there's a story about John Carmack, who created Doom. And he basically said that he's never taken seriously the violence in video game debate. It was basically a talking point for media, pretty much. And there's a whole interview you can go through, and if you go to the show notes, you can read the full interview. It's quite interesting. But basically he says he thinks, if anything, there's more evidence to show that violent games reduce aggression. And there's actually been studies that show that. And if you go to somewhere like QuakeCon, where there's however many people are sitting there, 8,000 people sitting in a room playing on a computer, they're all mellow, chilled out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So,
oh, yeah, yeah. Look, that's all. I think people get a bit too precious. People get a bit too alarmist, and
well, it was
and just
like
a
the
bit
debate
crazy
on the radio today. Should you smack your kids?
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, well, we got
It's
a comment here from DT in the lounge. Typical government. The guy publicly says it was done because of his hate for the government and where the country was headed. Yeah, but you'll blame the video games. That's right. That's exactly
That was
right.
like the what was the other massacre a couple of years ago, where they took. I'm seeing if I can find the story. I had it before.
While you're
They
looking
took,
for it, Will, it's the age-old story of do movies imitate life, or does life imitate movies?
And
Yeah,
what do you
exactly.
think, Studio Audience? What's your opinion on the video games, violent video games, bad?
No.
No.
Yeah. Well, in a way, yes, because the general public that commits these crimes, as far as I'm concerned, don't have a brain amongst them, and they've got to have something to initiate it, which is movies and games. They see it, they imitate it. They can't think of it themselves.
You probably,
right.
yeah, I sort of agree with that. I think, yeah, because like otherwise, where would they get the idea? Like they probably think, oh, you know, I've seen Bruce Willis. Well, what was that movie? That wartime movie where the Great Escape. You know, where they all got shot on the hill.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, who didn't play Cowboys and Indians or Cops and Robbers? You know, I mean, how far do you want to take that?
Exactly, Will. You only saw it through movies. The same as how many kids decided they were Superman and wanted to jump off the garage roof because they were Superman. You saw it on TV.
Will,
And
I agree
thing I was
with
trying
you.
to think of before was the Columbine high school shooting thing. They blamed heavy metal music for that because they found a Marilyn Manson CD in the CD player of the car.
Yeah. Who knows? I think it's just weak-minded people. That's what it comes down to.
I think you're right, Glenn. It's weak-minded people.
And Eric, you had an opinion?
Well, I'm with Will, and I'm going to be very general here. Games don't kill people; people kill people. But But you're right. Like Will said, how far do you want to take it? You know, we all played Cowboys and Indians. We all did this. At the end of the day, you can't legislate against stupidity.
No, that's right.
Some people won't do
try,
anything
though.
stupid. I've played violent video games my whole life,
Yeah.
but I'm not going
Yeah.
around wanting.
Okay.
If
So
what
you're
I
not a good
found-
example, but
No, but what I found was that if I had a bad day and I was pissed off about something, and
Yeah.
I played a semi-aggressive video game, whether it be a car game or a flying World War II planes or shoot 'em up games, I found that relieved the stress, and I felt better 20 minutes later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
That's it.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But whereas the idiots, and they're a very small percentage, but unfortunately it's the idiots that ruin it for everybody else.
Mm.
It's idiots that
I-
fantasize, that live in a delusional world, that think, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah. And I want to be a hero, but
I'll give you an example of them trying to legislate against idiots. I got pulled over a few months ago for doing what
For being an
basically
idiot?
every truckie. Well, for being a truckie, but basically what every truckie does, you drive with your arm sitting on the windowsill, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who
Oh,
doesn't have the
I do that
aircon,
all the time.
yeah, so
Yeah.
do I.
I got pulled
Yeah.
over. I got 3 demerit points and a $250 fine
You're
for
joking.
reckless endangerment of person.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, and also because you're not supposed to have any part of your body out of the window, out of the vehicle.
Yeah,
Look, that's
But
that's
the only
rubbish.
reason they've
That's
done
nanny
that-
state
Yeah.
going crazy.
I said to
That's-
I said to the cop, I said, "What's the deal?" He goes, "Oh, if a truck comes close to you, it might hurt your arm." I said, "Dude, if a truck comes that close to me, my arm is not my biggest concern."
Yeah.
That's right.
How do you?
You
How
know, like, don't legislate for morons. Let morons be morons and let them
Yeah.
wipe themselves out.
slow day, Will. Slow day at the office.
Yeah,
The thing is,
it's got to be that Darwinism thing. It's survival of the fittest. If the morons want to kill themselves, I say let them, because the less of them there are in this world, the better off the rest of us are, because then there's no more morons. But because there's legislation in place to protect the morons,
They grow.
there's more morons
They
than
keep
ever.
breeding.
That's
Like,
right.
That's right.
I mean,
You know,
the
you need a
problem is,
license to have
you know
a
the-
pet. Any moron can have a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You know what the worst part about the whole thing is going to be? Is if it keeps going the way it's going to go, we're not going to have any more Darwin Awards.
No, well, that's right.
That's right. It'll be bunk.
And I think the studio audience does a fair bit of driving. What does the studio audience think?
well, the studio audience does agree with Will. Am I turned on? Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope
Now,
so.
correct me, Will, if I'm wrong, but the overhang of your vehicle extends past your windowsill. Your mirrors certainly extend
Exactly.
past your windowsill.
So what
It
do
used
I
to
arrest
be-
you for that?
The widest
Well-
point of the vehicle.
Yeah, the widest point of your vehicle, I think, is about 8 foot. I do stand corrected. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I think it's about 8 foot.
No, you're right. It's,
And if
You-
your
your
arm, if
mirror
yeah,
wings.
that's right. If your elbow is on your windowsill, your windowsill to windowsill or elbow to elbow would not extend 8 foot.
There you go, Will.
No.
Go and get your money back.
and
So-
I reckon you can challenge
yeah, well,
that.
I couldn't be
that
bothered.
business.
But the reason
I
that
reckon-
originally came in,
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say the reason that legislation originally came in actually was because, as you said, vehicles, the widest point on a vehicle was 8 foot, and that was because through the mountains and through a lot of the cutout roads, the widest road was 16 foot wide, which is why they stated you couldn't have anything wider than the widest point of the vehicle, because if you had two cars passing each other, they could collide. But I understand it in that context, but in the modern day where lanes are 10 foot wide, cars are 8 foot wide, and there's 6 inches on each side, that your mirror hangs out beyond the width of the vehicle. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, good point, Will.
Just
Good
a slow,
point, Will.
slow
Go on,
day.
what-
I think
What's
the
there-
policeman. I think the policeman that
okay.
picked you up actually, Will, has just watched himself a video or played a game, and it goes back to the old story that I can
And he
do
was
this,
aggressive
so he's
and
done
needed
it.
to get rid of his anxiety.
There you go.
That's right. He's just watched Police Academy.
Can I ask a question?
Or Hawaii 5-0 or
Yeah.
Division 4 or whatever.
Yes. Eric, did you have something?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's everyone's view of turning on fog lights when it's not foggy?
It's
You know,
illegal
it's
now.
dark.
It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
good.
get that. I just say it's dark, right? You're on a dark country road,
Yep.
and your high beams is not quite enough because sometimes if the moon's not out or it's a completely no moon at all, it can get quite dark, and you turn your fog lights on.
Yeah.
What's everyone doing
that's
that?
fine.
Right.
No,
Can
well,
the studio
that's illegal.
can the studio audience
Yeah, start with you.
reply to that?
Yeah. Start with the studio.
Now, I remember many years ago when these fog lights first come into production in cars, your racing drivers round Bathurst and what have you had these lights turned on, car lowered, big set of wheels, looked very cool. And I think that's what people want to do out on the street. They want to look cool.
Mm.
And it's illegal to look cool. You can't
Yeah.
do it.
Cool. Well, I'm illegal. Now, but the thing is, I was driving back from Hunter Valley last year ago, say, and I
Yeah.
had my fog light on, and it was
Yeah.
dark, and I got warned by a cop. He said, he pulled me over. There was a breath test going on, and he gave me the breath test. I was fine. And he said, bit foggy up there, is it, mate? He was being a smart ass. And I said, no, why? He goes, well, you got your fog lights on. I said, yeah, it's dark. And he goes, turn them off or I'll fine you. To me, that is just revenue-raising crap. That's all it is.
Well, that's true. That's
the
true,
problem-
Eric. But I'll just tell you, in my handbook, I have these fog lights on my automobile, and in my handbook, it says to be used in adverse conditions, and in fog conditions, you would actually turn your headlights off and run
yes.
on parking lights and your fog lights, because the fog lights direct straight to the ground.
Yes.
So
well, I
that's
agree
when
with that,
you use
but
them.
adverse conditions, everyone has a different interpretation of adverse conditions.
That's right.
Well, fog, Eric, you can't really. What's different about fog? It's either there or it's not.
And also,
Yeah, I
though,
know.
can I
You
just
have adverse conditions without having fog.
chime in as just let's put this one to bed pretty fast. But in the fog conditions, you're not. Yeah, Eric was, as he said, you're not supposed to have your high beam on because
No, I don't.
it just
No, I
reflects
can't.
back off it.
That's right.
But the stupid
You-
part
you-
is there's only two problems with this current legislation. Well, three that's written. One is dark is classified as inclement as adverse conditions, so you're allowed to have them on in the dark. Secondly, fog lights traditionally are yellow and not clear. If they're clear, they're driving lights, they're not fog lights. Thirdly, most modern, a lot of European vehicles in particular, you cannot turn the fog lights off. They are on, same as the high visibility lights on the back of the vehicle. There is no override switch. When you turn your headlights on, they come on. And the other problem with that is because there is no switch, in a fog situation where you're not supposed to have your headlights on, you have to have your headlights on for your fog lights to come on.
Right.
Oh,
And
good point.
the last word from the lounge, Clinster, who is apparently
I'd switch, Will, and so I can
Sorry?
choose whether to turn them on.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Some of them don't though. Some cars don't. Like
I
friend
understand.
Volvo doesn't.
So yeah. Last
the
word.
old, that's right. The older Volvos, they don't have them. That's right. They come on automatically all the time.
Last word on the fog
And they're
lights.
yellow,
Come
which
on,
is what they're
last
supposed to be.
Last word on the fog lights. Clinster, he is a vehicle standards officer in the lounge. The rule in South Australia is that you can only use them in fog, low vision conditions. That's the rule. And if you don't like it, don't vote for
All right.
the person.
All right, let's put it to bed. But one last question: what harm does it have to have them on, even if it's not adverse conditions?
They're blinding.
You're not shining in anyone's face.
The problem is they're never adjusted properly. They're supposed to be pointed down at the ground, but people pull the original 20, 30 watt bulbs out, put 120 watt halogens in them and point them up and use them as spotlights. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Once again, the morons are ruining it for everybody else.
If there's
Good
no
on
one
you
else
guys.
on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no one else on the road, who gives a stuff? Okay, let's
All right.
let's one more tech story and then we're off. Because I don't know where we got on the fog lights.
I just got your G Plus
What?
update.
My what? G plus what?
Somebody's just put your Google Plus
Yeah.
update that you just put up.
I didn't put anything up. What did I put up?
It does it. It does it automatically
Yeah.
every few minutes because you got a hangout going on.
Yeah.
And it says Glenn is hanging out with 2 other people, but when I first read it, I thought it said Glenn is having it out with 2 other people.
This is from the studio audience. I might be as fat as 2 other people, but I am only one.
That's right. We had to ship in a special chair too. But anyway,
Very good.
anyway, Sky. This is the last story from me. Anyway, Skyfire unveils an app for Flash videos on the iPhone. Best known for its mobile browser, Skyfire has unveiled an application for watching Flash on the iPhone. Apple has been a strong opponent of Flash, as we all know. Users of Skyfire's new Video Queue application can send links to videos from their browsers to watch them in the app. So when which Skyfire hopes to build into a video entertainment hub, Video Queue will be first available in North America, so it's not out here yet, and it's not out here anywhere, but let's see how they go. Let's see if that's going to be available from the App Store when it happens. All right. Anyone else got any quick ones or anything else that they want to get off their chest?
Quickly speaking about Flash and Skyfire, PA was saying I think it was last week, he's having trouble viewing our stream on his Android. Just make sure excuse me, that you've updated your Flash, and it'll work perfectly. It's possibly just not a bad installation or a corrupt installation, or just not updated, but I updated mine yesterday, and the stream works fine. So,
and you'll probably have to, if you want to watch it on your iPhone or iPad, well, you'd have to download it and watch it via YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, YouTube.
although not now. Skyfire's got Flash, so you'll be right.
No, on an iPad. Oh, can you do that on iPads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Shows you how much I know. Don't ask Head that question. All right. Okay. Well, that's it. Is everyone finished?
Just say from the studio,
Look out.
from the studio audience, Glenn, Will, and Eric, it's been an absolute pleasure. And when I'm in the area, I'd love to do it again.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have you too, Macca, in the studio audience live at the Gold Coast studios.
Glenn, one more thing.
Yes.
I'd like to congratulate you on 5 years, 250 shows, nearly 5 years, of sticking it out through thick and thin. You had a vision, you stuck with it, and all power to you.
Hear, hear.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And sometimes, like, you look back over the years, and that started in 2006, September 2006. It's been a while, because I would imagine that we're the longest running tech news podcast, maybe the longest running tech podcast in Australia.
Yeah.
So,
I think you're right.
So we've had our ups and downs. We've had ups and downs before the show.
Longest running continuous podcast, definitely.
Yes, I think there could have been a couple that have changed their names, but you can't call them a continuous podcast because they changed their names. So
and their content.
Oh, that's right. But anyway, yeah, thanks, Eric. Thanks for those kind words. And we'll be hopefully be here for another 5 years to come. Only if you click on that Audible ad and buy some.
That's right. Click away, you sons of people.
Clicky. All right, so that wraps up episode 250. We'll probably, if I get time, we've got like 10 shows to prepare for the big 6 years. 5 years. Oh, there goes the audio. Hang on. There we go.
Yeah, there goes your batteries. In the meantime, you'll have to we'll have to work out some sort of thing. Get us.
All right, there goes the mic. Sorry, everyone. It couldn't last, could it?
No.
It couldn't last.
I was just going to say we'll have to try and organise a bit of a meet-up with the people who are in the general vicinity.
Yes,
See how we go.
We can do that.
Do you want me to play your for the chat room before we go? If you want, only if you want.
Yep.
The intro that I've put together.
All right.
From your thingo that you sent me.
All right. Okay. Yep. We'll do that. This is Erica's revamping the intro.
Now, that thing you sent me, the level on it was pretty low. You might have to resend it to me. I tried to do the best I could with it, but
all right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Nice work, Eric. Well, there you go. Good work. Eric's been working night and day on that. That's good, Eric. We love it. Love it. Love it.
It'll be in the Chew the Fat shared folder.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much. All right, so on that note, Will, we thank you for coming on tonight.
No worries.
And Eric, we thank
Talk
you.
Back Tech.
Oh, yes,
No
sorry.
worries.
Yes, sorry, Will. Go. Where are you from?
So remember, guys, Talkback Tech live from Tuesday nights, live.thesecrethub.com.
Round about
Usually
7
after
o'clock.
dark, some point we start.
Yep, after dark sometime, round about 7 o'clock, 7:30. So join in Will live, ask him some questions, send him some questions as well.
And with any luck, a Android show as well.
Good stuff. All right, and we thank you too, Eric, and we'll see you all next week, hopefully. All right, it's from me and the boys. It's good night. Bye-bye.
Right now.
See you all.
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
See you all.
The
Yo.
microphone did have to go flat right at the end.
Yeah.
does that.
Just as
You know it did.
just as a typical. All right, good stuff. Good stuff.